Hey guys, welcome back. End of week 2 here of the 2025 whitetail season. We just got done with our first cold front of the year that rolled through most of the Midwest. If you did get some tree stand time in on that first cold front, I hope that it was eventful. Whether you went out there and you filled the tag or you just at least got to experience an increase in deer movement. I know that it was a pretty slow start to the season in Ohio, and that cold front really got some deer up and moving. Now, I did not have the opportunity to hunt during that first cold front because I had a little bit of an accident with my bow, and honestly, it was just a lapse of concentration while I was in the tree stand. I was hunting on one of the new trees in my property, first time set up there. When I first got in the tree, I just wanted to do some practice reps, pull my bow back to make sure all my shooting lanes were exactly how I wanted them to line up to be. And now when I pulled my bow back, don't know exactly what I bumped it on, but I bumped the back part of my broadhead on something. My arrow came unknocked, so I was trying to let down very gently, and as I was letting my bow back down, I have a thumb release. I accidentally hit that thumb release, and then it sent my string off track. Went into the bow shop right away. They were able to get everything squared away for me. My bow shooting just fine, but I did miss that first cold front of the year. Bummer on that end, but I did get a chance to get out, do some really good scouting on some of the public land that I'm hunting down in southern Ohio. Those are places that I'm really going to target towards the end of October once the scrape activity really starts picking up. Some of the historical places I've been to, went out and just checked those areas, hung my trail cameras, and then I dove into some new places that I scouted in the winter and then in the summertime as well, where I was running a couple of trail cameras, found some really promising stuff this off season and have some really good bucks hanging around in those areas. Excited to get those cameras on the scrapes. Hopefully some of those bucks that I did have all summer long are still going to be hanging out in those areas, but hey, we'll see. You know, it's always deer hunting, right? Now, as far as the deer movement goes, I personally look as the transition from the 2nd to the 3rd week of October to be where things really start changing quickly. Things get very dynamic out in the woods, and I find a lot of times that these deer are working on very short patterns. You know, you might only get them doing something very consistent for 2-3 days at a time. I find that if you do want to try to get out there and strike a deer, if you're running trail cameras, if you're running cell cameras, if you get a deer doing something on that camera where he's in a vulnerable position, if you have the capability to do so, I would get back out there and I would hunt that deer immediately because he may only be on that rotation for a couple of days. Now, this upcoming stretch is going to be what you hear a lot of people refer to as the October Lull. Now, personally, I don't believe in the October Lull. I just believe that, like I just said, things are very dynamic this time of the year. The patterns are changing, but those bucks are still up and moving in daylight. You just have to be willing to adapt to the scenario. If that pattern changes, do not wait around. Get aggressive, get mobile, and go out there and make it happen. This can also be a really good time of the year to just set up for observation sits if you don't feel like you have the capability or the deer to go after to get super aggressive. Just get creative with where you're going to do these observation sits and really try to learn the place that you're hunting. This might not be the time that you fill the tag, but these might be the hunts that you need to fill a tag when things line up as we kind of transition here in a couple of weeks. One more quick note on the October Lull. I'm actually recording this on Friday. We're doing a live Q&A session in the Next Level Whitetail School community tonight about the October Lull. I posted a story on my Instagram asking for questions there. Some of the community members are also going to be bringing in some questions, so we're going to do that live session. Reminder, all of those Q&As throughout the entire hunting season are recorded and stored within the school community, so even if you can't join those live, you're still going to have access to those. So feel free to go over there and check that out. While I'm talking about content, I'll kind of fill you in on what's in the pipeline here. I'm also going to be putting out these highlight videos from those Q&As. I'm getting ready to post the one from our last week, which was about the whitetail shift. You guys can go ahead and check out the highlights, and I'll do just a little bit of an additional breakdown on some of the key things we covered. I'll do the same thing for the October Lull this week. And then this Monday, on my last video I posted about the first cold front stand, I got a ton of comments where guys were looking and interested in identifying both bedding areas and food sources in more of the big timber settings. So I'm going to go ahead and take a full deep dive on that, do one of the fully edited videos. That's going to be dropping this upcoming Monday. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that is going to be able to solve some of these questions that you guys do have around bedding and food in the big wood scenarios. And of course, how can you as a hunter use this information to make the most of your hunting season? Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about before I wrap up this week is just how special the fall is. you know, doing what I do for work, helping all of these landowners, I consistently get text messages throughout the fall, especially when these guys are showing me views from the tree stand, trail camera pictures, trail camera videos, harvest pictures, harvest videos, whatever it may be, and just the excitement that I get to see with all of these landowners. So I get to live through them, live through their experiences, but then also just my own experiences. I'm actually up in the Upper Peninsula right now with my dad at our family deer camp. This camp has been in our family for, man, I think my dad and my grandpa got it back in the early 90s, so we've had it for a long time. I've been hunting up here since I've been 15 years old is when I started. Before that, I was out in the woods with my dad. We're just up here dialing in our stand and our blind locations. We'll come up here, maybe do a bow hunt in the early part of November, and then of course for Michigan's firearm season. But man, I tell you what, each and every time I come up here, I just swear I love it more and more. I spent so much time up here growing up. It was the place that I hunted. This was before I moved down to Ohio and launched everything with the consulting, the real estate, the land management, and the UP was my spot. You know, like I spent so much time up here in the summertime during the hunting seasons, and I just don't get that time up here like I used to, at least at this phase of my life. But man, I will tell you what, it is a very special time for me now, especially that I get to spend this time with my dad. You know, he was the one that got me into hunting. And as I'm sitting here recording this video, I'm actually sitting at one of the original spots that he found when he hunted this back in the early 90s, a spot that I've since taken over since it is a couple miles back off of the road. But I thought, man, what a better spot to record than this and just talk about how special the memories, the traditions that we really get to have each and every fall. And just a quick reminder for everybody, do not overlook the little things, because there are so many simple things, even on these couple days that I've spent up here with my dad, that I just smile because, you know, my dad, he's kind of a goofy guy. He's a silly man and he loves his deer hunting. But man, I tell you what, I really don't think that there's something that he enjoys more than spending these falls up here with me. And I can honestly say the same thing. I know that when I was in my younger 20s, my mid-20s, there would be times that I would get upset at him for his goofiness, and it's just like I would kind of cuss at him under my breath. But man, I tell you what, I just soak up every single minute now, because I know that I only have so many hunting seasons myself. It's like, man, you just really don't know when your last hunting season with your best hunting partner is going to be. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to live up every single one of them for as long as I can. And even if I only get to come up here and hunt a couple days a year, I can tell you I'm going to soak up every single minute of it, whether I'm out here and I'm going to tag a barely legal 5-point or one of these big swamp bucks that I have hanging around. So guys, keep it real, man. Just enjoy this hunting season for what it has. I hope that you are just soaking it all in, looking forward to some great hunting ahead, looking forward to keep pumping out this content. You guys enjoy, and we will see you next week.